So here the question is, what are the objects of the UP Urban Building Regulation of Letting, Rent and Eviction Act 1972? So if you want to understand the real meaning and the real purpose of the act, any act, then we must go through its objects. For what objects this act has been introduced. So here are few. This act has been introduced to make a new law, new permanent law. Now, earlier laws would have been were the temporary in nature. So this is a kind of permanent law. Second one, this law takes under the purview of it all those buildings who have completed 10 years after their construction. Means the new law shall apply to all buildings after a period of 10 years from the date of completion of their construction. So why this 10 years gap is given? To give incentive for the construction of new buildings. Okay. Now, earlier the district magistrate was having unfettered power regarding the eviction of the tenants and matters related to the tenancy. But now, after introduction of this act, the unfettered power has been reasonably restricted. Other one is, earlier there was a provision for revision to the state government. Now the district magistrate has been authorized to deal such matters. So earlier state government was authorized to deal such matters. Now the district magistrate has been delegated with such power to deal with the matters related to tenancy. Now the suit relating to tenancy can lie in court of small causes, and only revision will lie against the decision of the small causes court. Okay. There are certain sort of buildings which have been exempted from the scope of this act. These buildings are like buildings of educational institutions, like charitable societies, like buildings of cooperative societies, companies and firms for their own occupation or for the occupation of their employees. These are exempted. Okay. In this new law, some provisions have been made to prohibit the tendency of undervaluing or the under assessing the taxes of buildings, so that the local authorities like municipalities get their real dues. Now, after the death of the tenant, their family members shall be entitled to the same protection as the deceased. This is the new provision introduced here. And the tenant is being allowed to deduce 2 months rent instead of 1 month. For what? For maintaining the waterproofing or some other maintenance work. The tenant can utilize the 2 months deduction rent. Earlier this provision was restricted to 1 month only. Now, the enhanced house tax, which was the tenant was liable for some sort of enhanced house tax, that was earlier 1/3 of the amount. Now it has been 1/4. The tenant's liability to pay enhanced house tax is reduced from 1/3 of the amount of the enhancement to 1/4. And this act has been passed by the state legislature because these matters are in the concurrent list of the Constitution of India. Okay, so these are some silent features which can be written in answers, like when the question is asked about the object, about its silent features, about its main provisions, about its purpose. So it may be useful for you. Thank you.